Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Mercenary. Deadeye. Commando. Deadeye. Deadeye chosen. Sounds good. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise. An echo of balance and consequence of your actions as you move.
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around eventually.
But what comes around goes all the way back around.
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all about natural selection, survival of the strongest.
Ha! Natural selection is all about evolution and progress, and as soon as there's enough light,
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. Nice topper. It's in your grasp. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death. But some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. on the home stretch. Things seem simpler now. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Clogs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. You always find good use for things like that. Strung up. Toxanol built vessels called arcs to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single arc they left behind that we know just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Cutting edge. That's going to leave a mark. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. That's a good find. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with... The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over... You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst... You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, from this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake. One day, the land won't be as peaceful, not even... He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lots on her mind and needs rest after the raid last night on the Lupin camp with... He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but the tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters... Records tell of the ruinous devastation the Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land. The apocalypse sparked a His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't... He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree... Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the... He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your... Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your... He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
Ah! That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are two nearby. The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is... The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction, to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out-of-Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least... Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of... Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. This sort never know what's good for them. They've restroyed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tribe war began. That's the Jagni tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war, or part of the problem. Let's see. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Says just because you've made time to meet the Sifu doesn't mean he has time for you. But you're welcome to give it a try.
Zata idzie mój do tloho. Kariesne stace. Par, ja put i
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. He's referring to your rampage through Bunker 101. It seems you don't mind a bit of blood on your hands. That's something you have in common. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it was based on unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nanchu. Jagni doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Their goal is to become omnipresent and, most importantly, says there is some darkness in the best of us, even you, and suggests you embrace that side of you and help them vanquish the tribes and let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life. He had a feeling you'd say that. You're not sinister enough to be a Jagni. That big heart of yours, he'll give you a chance to change your mind before you leave and asks you to reconsider. Otherwise, you'll be seen as a rival. Then so be it. He wants you to know that they'll show no mercy at the end of this war, and offers you a last chance to come back and join when you realize you've picked the wrong side. And with that, he urges you to seek protection at Myriad Stone Fort before word gets out that you've chosen not to side with them. It was built on the back of many, including us, and claimed by Myriad when the construction was abandoned after the attack on the old village. It was your Muma's vision for... It's time to say goodbye for now. And if it's not the kind of goodbye that lasts forever, then the next will meet... All that exercise helps. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Shot through. Crack-a-doo. Let's see. It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Says the Sifu is popular these days as the tribe grows stronger by the day. He suggests you let the Sifu do the talking when you meet. He prefers it that way. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. The wall that separates them from the other side? The wasteland you came from? He guesses the time spent there just left a blank. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupa Lupin attacked the old village. Soon after, they formed new tribes. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's... Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into... He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing... Better than a bare head. Let's see. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. He understands Wang Fu is hard. That's why your Muma only has 6 disciples. Doing just one thing helps you get... He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Why not? There's no better time to do what needs to be done than right... He says, that wasn't too bad, was it? Way to go. Don't let the sound of the waves drown out your... But you need practice. Lots of practice. Judging by your Muma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. You know you can't make up for lost time. You should know. Practice makes perfect. She'll see you at the village square. She'll be waiting for you. There will be a surprise for you at the end. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. It's your own future you're risking by not caring for the environment. The next generation will pay for the mistakes of the last. You should look for things that are recyclable. He wonders what usefulness you found. He says whatever it is, it shouldn't be left lying around on the... He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. He says only a few are willing to do the little things, but if you make enough of them, he'd love to teach you to... You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He says you don't really need a weapon when you're born one. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent harm. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone. That's all she's ever asked of you, that you'll try and give it your best. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs... They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He says that it's not too late for you to turn back, though. There's no way they'll let you pass. He wants to know who you think you are. They push each other to become better, and sometimes someone gets pushed down along the way. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? She's there for all disciples. That's her commitment. The most important thing is that you're okay. It's time to focus on your training now. Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. He asks if you could help him, too, before you leave for training. He'll talk to her, sure, but you know she wants you to accept responsibility. He's curious to see what you found. He said... The stuff... He's looking.
Ruta.
Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Pialtuma.
Hopes you're as ready as you claim to be.
Vaiseno kasaman varut.
Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Kuri kumbala muma.
Thanks you for being such.
Anora kapapom.
Been working.
Kanamunta.
You should go see. Catchy.
Urasa durut.
Your Muma says she's
Dere
a pe-
aplitonumuta.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow.
Brumblena marsamawunu. Antoro.
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day.
Kanamunt.
Says a good rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Your Muma says this is it, the time.
Kialdo male kanarutun.
Here it comes, the past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on.